Have you ever been at a dinner party? Someone drops a riddle, and while everyone else groans and moves on, one person in the corner goes completely quiet. They're not being rude, they're just gone, mentally checked out of the room and fully checked into their own head. Maybe that person is you. And if it is, I want to talk about what's actually happening inside your brain because it's genuinely fascinating. Most people assume puzzle lovers are just nerdy or patient or maybe a little obsessive. And sure, sometimes, but the psychology behind it runs so much deeper than that. It's not really about puzzles at all. It's about something your brain is constantly, almost desperately craving. Here's what's going on. Your brain is a prediction machine. Every single second, it's making guesses about the world, filling in gaps, building models, trying to stay one step ahead of reality. And most of the time, that process is invisible. You don't feel it. But when you sit down with a puzzle or a riddle, something shifts. Suddenly, a gap between I don't know and I understand becomes visible, tangible, and your brain absolutely lights up chasing it. Neuroscientists call this the aha moment, and it's not just a metaphor. Studies using brain imaging have shown that the moment of insight, when a solution clicks into place, triggers a burst of dopamine, the same chemical behind pleasure, motivation, and reward. In other words, your brain treats solving a puzzle like a tiny hit of joy. No wonder you can't stop at just one. But here's where it gets really interesting. Research in cognitive psychology suggests that people who are drawn to puzzles tend to score higher in what's called a need for cognition, a fancy way of saying they genuinely enjoy thinking for its own sake. Not for a grade, not for a reward, just for the pleasure of the mental workout. If that's you, your brain doesn't see effort as a cost, it sees effort as the point. There's also something deeply emotional underneath this. Puzzle lovers often describe a sense of control, a quiet, private kind of mastery. In a world that's chaotic and unpredictable, a puzzle is a closed system. It has rules, it has a solution, and you can find it. Psychologists have linked this to what Abraham Maslow called self-actualization, the need to grow, to stretch, to feel capable. A jigsaw or a riddle becomes a small, safe arena where you get to prove something to yourself over and over again. And let's talk about tolerance for ambiguity because this is where puzzle lovers quietly stand apart. Most people feel uncomfortable sitting with a problem they can't immediately solve. It feels threatening. But people who love puzzles have trained themselves, or maybe we're just wired to sit inside that discomfort and find it interesting rather than unbearable. That's not a small thing. That's actually a superpower in disguise. It's the same quality that makes great scientists, writers, and problem solvers. So if you're someone who loses track of time over a crossword, who can't walk past a brain teaser without taking a crack at it, you're not just killing time, you're feeding something real, something your brain genuinely needs. You're practicing curiosity, you're building resilience, you're chasing that tiny, brilliant moment when the fog clears and everything suddenly makes sense. And honestly, the world needs more people who are willing to sit with hard questions long enough to actually answer them. If this felt like someone just explained a part of you to yourself, share it with someone who'd get it. And tell me in the comments, what kind of puzzle person are you?